I say authority doesn't mean I'm the boss, I'm in charge. Nobody gives a shit, quite frankly, just you. And usually people who have that vibe are super insecure. They need you to know that they're in charge because they need you to know they're in charge. So people that truly master this correctly, it's like I show the world who I am. I don't tell the world who I am. I show them. In fact, when I began doing interviews, I was schooled by all the different examiners. And one of them said, don't ever walk into a room and tell somebody, I'm in charge, I'm the boss, I'm the special agent. Don't ever do that. Your stock's going to go from here to here. The fact that you have to actually tell somebody, hey, I'm in charge, you just lost. They know you're in charge. So if they're pushing back on you, that means something in what you're showing isn't working. So you have to show strength. That's the word. It's not, I think power is the wrong word because power means I need this thing. I need to feel validated. I need. And you need because you're insecure. You need because your ego is taking charge. If you need to feel power, that's a conversation you have to have internally. And why do you need that? I'm not saying that people don't go into this business, into this line of work doing that, which is very wrong. And it can draw in the wrong type of character. But again, it depends on the recruitment process of different entities. I went through NYPD, different recruitment process. NYPD, there was 1,500 people in my class. U.S. Secret Service, 54. So the selection process is different for the different agencies. So do you come across bullies? And sometimes we would internally joke, like if we'd have like an outlier come through and we're like, dude, how did that guy get in? And we would joke, I'm like, that guy had his lunch money stolen way too many times when he was a kid. And now he's here to show everybody he's in charge. Or she, it would happen with women too.
How long did you work as an interrogator? Or should we say interviewer?
Interviewer. I say interrogator, but everyone,
why don't you
it's got a stigma. To me, interviewing and interrogation is the same thing. To the public, it's not. Everybody watches Law and Order and they see that you did it. Or, torture, which we've heard, of and people use. Actually, all the countries use that. I just want to put that out there. Everybody thinks, oh, America, it's like everybody does it. Mm-hmm. Just so you know. So I did it for a number of years. I'm trying to think now. Let me do math here. Not my strength.
No, I won't make you do math.
Several years.
What are some of the skills that you learned that translate, or what could the listener take from what you learned and translate that to being able to be in a conversation or get information? It's interesting. I feel like the communication in this world has gotten so different because of social media and what people think is okay and how to treat people. And how to even navigate this space of communication with tech and everything has changed.
I would tell you this, the number one piece of advice I can give everybody, shut up.
I think that's what you told me when I reviewed, I asked you.
I said it to you very nicely.
You did it. I don't need nice. I said, hey, Evie, I really want to do a great job and become a very good interviewee and interviewer. And what you told me?
Just stop talking.
Just shut up.
It's interesting because we looked at some interviews and we won't say which ones. Yeah. And you were like, hey, this person, I feel like I have to fight to get my point across. And do you remember what I told you?
Yeah. I actually had set it up. I needed to wait until they finished and stop interrupting, which is actually feedback that I got when I originally started this podcast. And I have taken that advice to heart.
Yes, because the person that you were speaking to was getting it wrong. And you're like, but he's saying the wrong thing. I said, I know. But you're trying to compete with him. You're trying to tell him, hey, it's wrong. He's not listening. So he's competing with you. I'm like, just let him go. Let him finish. Then he feels done. And then now you can come in and say, I hear you. Because most people want to be heard. Most people like to talk. Let them knock themselves out. Makes people feel important. Again, it goes back to self-validation, right? I need to be validated. I need to speak. I need to be heard, which isn't a bad thing, but you want to keep that in balance. And so I was telling you, I remember I was like, yes, I know what you're saying and I know you want to correct him, but he doesn't want to be corrected. He wants to speak. Let him go, then come in and then say, I hear you, great points, but let me tell you why. And then you hit those points because now he's going to let you speak. Don't fight for the mic. Don't fight for the mic. Everyone's fighting for the mic. Let them hold it. When it's time, take the mic, Thank you. Because now they're more likely to also let you go. They said everything they have to say. They're spent. And if they cut you off, I actually use this in my interrogation room when I have people come into the room and they go off and, go off on me. Nobody was ever happy to see me except for you. But in an interview, nobody wanted to see me. I represented, you talk to me, you could potentially lose your freedom. And I would let people go, sometimes 20 minutes, and sometimes they would berate me and they would say things. They didn't know me. They just, what I represented and understood. When they were done, I would speak. Now, in that moment, maybe they would cut me off or intercept, and I'd say, you know what? For 20 minutes, I sat here and I listened to you. I let you speak. Would you give me that same respect? Every single time, oh, you're right. Sorry. People would back off. So it was that's reciprocity, by the way. I gave you something. Please give me that back. I gave you the 20 minutes for you to go. Now, reciprocity, give that back to me.
What are some of the other big mistakes that people make when they're trying to communicate or get information? And I definitely want to get into some of the things that you talk a lot about. How do you know if someone is lying? Which seems to be a hot topic. But in terms of interpersonal communication and creating a relationship and a bond, what are the ways that you think are really effective? And what are some of the things that you see people do wrong? Definitely in the internet space, interrupt, obviously.
So I feel that those are two things. I feel if we go to social media or internet, everyone's a cowboy behind a computer.
I know.
Everybody's got something to say. But in the street, it's like, come say it to my face. No, thank you. So those are two different spaces. And what the internet has done, it's given, I'm going to just say this straight out, it's given cowards a platform. It's given people that would never say anything to your face the ability to say something to you. And they're cruel because a lot of the folks that write stuff are insecure, they're dissatisfied. Whenever I read comments, my first thought is, what's going on in this person's life that they have to write something like that? And so that's why there's so much noise and chatter. I think online and social media and that stuff's great. That's part of the way we've connected.
Mm-hmm.
And I met some amazing people, even my followers, love my followers. I've got some wonderful human beings that truly I've connected with and even met in person. So I want to say that it's a great tool. However, it's given people a voice and power, not to be cliche.
That they never earned it. They never earned it.
Well, with power, if you're going to have influence, there's responsibility there. You can't just shoot your mouth because your words impact people. I'm not saying we all make mistakes. We all say the wrong thing. Hell, I do live news and half the time I'm like, oops, I got that wrong. But it gives a mic to people that sometimes should not have a mic and people who use that mic incorrectly and who in real life would never have the fortitude to say anything to you. So that's one thing. So it's created a lot of noise and even echo chambers. Echo chambers, people hear somebody say something and then they repeat it. It's echo chamber. There's no original content or thought.
I think we see that all the time.
Yes. It's like or sometimes I see people post quotes and I'm like, that's not your quote. That's somebody else's quote. Those are not your words, but it's become so we can take other people's words and I don't think that's right.